Hello friends, welcome back. For those who are new here, I'm Kat. I'm a wife, a homeschool mom, and an avid reader. It is January 1st, 2023, and I thought I would put out kind of what I'm reading or planning on reading for the month of January. The first book I'm wanting to read, I'm going to be kind of I'm not going to give any real information about it because some are still waiting on this book. For 2023, my husband bought me the Sanderson Secret Book Project. And those of us who got the ebooks and the audiobooks have our digital copies already. Most of us are still waiting on our physical copies, and so I don't want to spoil the title for those who are eagerly awaiting for that. So, one book I am looking forward to reading during January is Sanderson's first of his secret book project that he wrote in 2020 during the shutdowns. So, I've enjoyed Sanderson since I've discovered him. My husband really tried to get me to read him before, and I kind of shied away from it a little bit. And why, I have no idea, because once I started, I have not stopped reading Sanderson. So I am excited for this one. It is part of the Cosmere, so we'll see how that goes. Another book that I am going to finish during the month of January is Shadow of Night by Deborah Harkness. If you saw in end of September, October, November, I started doing a real-time read of the first book, Discovery of Witches. Everything in that book takes place between September 21st, I believe, and November 2nd. This second book takes place between that November 2nd through to January or July or so. We read this one not as a real time. It would be a little more difficult to do. The days aren't quite as clear, and there are some larger jumps in this. So I have a little bit of reading left to do on the 4th through the 7th for this one, and then I will be finished with that and see what is going on with the Book of Life. But currently, this is one of those books that I will finish in January that I started beforehand. Another book that I started in December and I'm going to finish this month is The Guide by Peter Heller. This one takes place kind of in our post-pandemic world, but without it necessarily specifying COVID or a specific virus. It just says viruses, that viruses were there. And we have our main character in one of the first chapters has a mask, and basically they tell him, don't flash that around. It makes our people nervous. The guide is following a river guide who helps the rich and the elite to enjoy their outdoor fantasies, as it were. So there's a lot of fishing in this, but there's also a mystery in this. I'm not quite that far yet, but around this lodge there is a fence, and there's a point where there's a sign that says don't get shot. If you pass that, you are at risk of getting shot by the man who owns the property next to the Billionaire's Mile. So far, this has been a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to finishing it. Another book that I'm looking forward to reading during January is Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson. This title, or it's got some foil on it, so it's a little harder to see. This is a book that I asked for from my family, kind of on a whim. It was, I asked for it Christmas of 2021. So I've had it on my shelf for a year. I kind of was holding out because originally I understood that it was going to be a series and that the next book was coming out this year. And I didn't want to read it just to have to reread it. And it looks like that's not happening. Instead, this year, the author is coming out with this a sequel novella for the book that got me interested in this author, and that's Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. I really loved Sorcery of Thorns. It was kind of this magic library, or all the libraries were magic, and this librarian and her adventures in this world. And with enjoying that book so much, as soon as I saw that Vespertine was coming out in 2021, I told my family I wanted the book. So my sister lovingly bought it for me, and I have not read it yet. So my goal this January is to go on ahead and read it. This one is following Artismia, sorry. And she is training to be a gray sister, which is a nun who cleanses the bodies of the deceased so that their souls can pass on. So, I don't really know much more of this one, but I am looking forward to reading it due to the author. Another book that I am looking forward to reading here in January is Two Nights in Lisbon by Chris Pavone. This is a thriller, so I, of course, am trying to go into it as blind as I can. It basically is a husband and wife are going on vacation to Lisbon. She wakes up and he's not there. And it's her tale of trying to find where he is, and what's going on. Kind of the tagline of this is, you think you know a person. And that just that amount, and knowing, kind of very little about this one intrigued me. And I'm looking forward to finding out how this one is going. Chris Pavone is a new author for me. I have not read any of his books, and so we'll see how this thriller goes. Another book that I am looking forward to reading this January is The Bookshop of Yesterdays. This one is by Amy Meyerson. This is another new author to me, and this one was truly a cover buy. I mean, what reader can pass up a book with book stack on it? This one is following our main character, Miranda. Miranda was raised in her uncle's bookstore. He always had scavenger hunts for her until her 12th birthday, when her mom and her uncle have a falling out, and she no longer sees or hears from her uncle until 16 years later, when he has left his bookstore to her along with one final scavenger hunt. The bookstore is unfortunately teetering on closing and bankruptcy, and so kind of her, I would assume, job is to save this bookstore in the process, or decide what to do with it for the future. This one Well, the cover was gorgeous and I picked it up because of the cover. The scavenger hunt aspect really drew me in as well. I loved the book Scavenger, which is a middle grade book based on doing a scavenger hunt as well. So this is just one that I am definitely looking forward to during the month of January. And there you have it. There are the 6 books that I am looking forward, well, 5 here and 1 that I do not have yet, that I'm looking forward to reading during the month of January. I did set a lower than normal goal for this month only because we are getting back into the swing of school. We start tomorrow and I just have a lot going on that I don't want to overburden myself or feel rushed through my books. So I hope you have a great reading month this month, and let me know in the comments what you are planning on reading. I'll see you soon.